As arguably the greatest sneaker manufacturer in the world, Nike is no stranger to experimental design, and this often involves the use of a variety of unexpected materials. These sneakers have become the hallmark of a secret menu that only the most ardent of collectors are even aware of, and as a result, they're highly sought after among people with taste for the surreal, absurd, and artistic. So without further ado, let's take a look at some of the rarest materials used in Nike shoes. Number 10. Nike Air Force 1 Low LX UV Reactive, Women's. With the design consisting mostly of pristine white leather, these Nike Air Force 1s also come with a twist. They transform when exposed to the sun. Step outside and you'll notice some of the white accents turning into oceanic azure, with the heel becoming a shocking pink. Owning a pair of these gives you some serious bragging rights, because it's not every day that you get to wear shoes that can morph into something else entirely, so these sneakers obviously won't come cheap. Expect to pay somewhere in the region of $180 for a pair, which is a solid 60% higher than the retail price. Number 9. Nike Space Hippie 01 Redstone. As a brand, Nike set itself apart through its commitment to sustainability with their Space Hippie series. They take this principle and turn it into an entirely new way of doing business. The Redstone is a fine example of this lineup, with each shoe manufactured from recycled plastic bottles and yarn, creating a near non-existent carbon footprint in the process. The design's nothing to sneeze at either, featuring a chunky retro-inspired heel that takes inspiration from moon shoes. The speckling on the sole adds some visual flair, spicing up the fibrous construction of the upper for a design that seamlessly combines the old with the new. These shoes sold for about $130 upon release, but nowadays they go for over $200 minimum. Number 8. Nike Air Max 90 Cork. Much like the Space Hippie series breathes new life into an old design, these Air Max 90s use the unlikeliest of materials to create an unmistakable pair. Cork is probably the last thing you'd think of as far as sneaker manufacturing is concerned, but the textured look adds an undeniably rustic charm to these shoes. And the vermilion accents on top, in and above the midsole, underneath the laces, and on the heel, coupled with the classic black swoosh, keep it rooted firmly in the 21st century. This unusual pair is just what you need if you think you've seen it all, and it can be yours for about $280, as long as you find someone willing to part with them. Number 7. Nike Mars Yard Overshoe Tom Sachs. At some point, humanity will take its first tentative steps towards creating an intergalactic civilization. When that day comes, there's a good chance we'll be wearing shoes like these. Hailing from the mind of Tom Sachs, an artist defined by his obsession with space as much as his Warhol-esque obsession with consumerism, these shoes look like nothing Nike's ever made before or since. Perhaps the most critical component of these shoes is the indestructible upper, and we do mean that literally. Made from a composite material called Dyneema, quite literally the toughest material in the world, these shoes are genuinely capable of weathering the rigors of space travel, although you'd likely have to make do with wearing them on the ground. Either way, the design alone makes them a worthwhile purchase for any sneaker fan, although the $420 price tag might make some think twice. Ho ho ho! Hold your horses! We plug a lot of people, but this is something that even we can't do. Hit that subscribe button and plug yourself with the most diverse and interesting sneaker content there is. And now, back to the video. Number 6. Nike CPFM Flea 1 Cactus Plant Flea Market Overgrown. Here, we've got arguably the wackiest sneaker design ever to hit the shelves. Practicality might have gotten thrown out the window, but it's been replaced with a bold irreverence and an unfaltering commitment to a silhouette that has more in common with a forest than footwear. The upper consists of a verdant fur that evokes wild, untamed, natural beauty, with the sole mimicking the look and feel of textured, fertile soil. CPFM has a reputation for out-of-the-box designs, and this is just one of many collabs it's done with Nike so far. Even so, the Nike CPFM 1 epitomizes everything you'd expect from a fashion brand that prides itself on the unsettling and the absurd, and their pairing with a global culture force like Nike has led to the creation of perhaps the first set of sneakers that can truly be called avant-garde. If you can believe it, a pair of these cost just $190 when they were released in November 2022. Fast forward a year and the price has soared to a hefty $420. Though that's still fairly reasonable considering the one-of-a-kind design. Number 5. Nike SB Dunk Low Civilist. You'd expect a brand like Nike to be extremely averse, but these SB Dunk Lows are further proof that they're never afraid to push the envelope. Much like the Air Force Ones we just discussed, these sneakers can change colors under the right conditions, although they react to heat rather than UV radiation. What's more, these shoes don't just switch from one color to another. Instead, they burst into a kaleidoscope of reds, blues, and greens with a dash of yellow added in for good measure. Released in 2020 for $125 a pop, nowadays you'd be lucky to get your hands on a pair for anything under $600. Number 4. Nike Air Max 1 Golf Turf. If the CPFM ones were a bit too out there for your liking, the Nike Air Max 1 Golf Turf offers similar mossy hues in a much more mainstream package. With the upper consisting of several synthetic fibers that capture the look of a fresh cut grass, consider this an essential addition to your collection if you're into the wider side of the spectrum. These shoes don't sacrifice style for substance either, with the sturdy soles offering comfort and traction, making them perfect for your next round of golf. The lively emerald green subtly obscures the white swoosh we all know and love, making them an essential purchase for lovers of the strange and unorthodox. If you're looking to buy these shoes, keep a price range of about $700 in mind. Number 3. Converse Chuck Taylor Allstar Vulcanized High Off-White. Nike owns several imprints that offer a broader creative license to make things up from an aesthetic point of view, and their Converse sneakers tend to be a popular destination for many of the boldest concepts. And these peculiar All-Stars stand out more than most, especially with the translucent colorway bringing that black Vulcanized logo brought into sharp relief. The ghostly white of the upper blends into a heel that looks like a chunk of pale blue ice floating in the sea, and barely visible Converse logo adds some allure to the already hypnotic design. Of course, works of art like this aren't widely available anymore. Despite retailing for a relatively affordable $130, the value of these sneakers has skyrocketed, with the most owners accepting no less than $800 for a pair. Number 2. Mischief INRI Jesus Shoes. The Air Max 97 has enjoyed enduring popularity, with Nike revisiting the silhouette time and time again, whenever buyers are clamoring for some sweet nostalgia. That said, basic re-releases can't hold a candle to these bad boys. A bootleg, created by the creatives of Mischief. We could talk about the impossibly smooth leather mesh of the upper or the prominent cross attached to the laces. But let's face it, there's one thing in particular that sets these shoes apart: that noticeable air bubble in the sole. It's got 60 cc's of bona fide holy water straight from the River Jordan, or in other words, the same water Jesus himself walked on as his followers watched in awe. These sneakers aren't just a piece of history. They contain something truly sacred, a relic that you can't even put a price on. Of course, Mischief did put a price on it. $1,425, in fact. Number 1. Nike Air Force 1 Low Crocodile Luxe 25th Anniversary. Just because a pair uses unique materials doesn't mean it'll compromise on style. These sneakers celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Air Force Ones use actual, honest-to-God crocodile skin into the iconic silhouette by artisans in the heart of Italy, along with some traditional leather for comfort. You get a solid gold hang tag in the silver box, suede dust bags to preserve your shoes, and a bunch of other goodies to sweeten the deal. But all that comes at a heavy cost. These are arguably the most premium shoes Nike's ever released, and they go for an eye-watering $1,700 a pair. So there you have it, folks. Which of these rare material trainers do you want the most? Let us know in the comments below. That's all for now. See ya!